Hey, welcome to another edition of Davis Dynamics. This evening is a little different. This evening, I slept half the day. I guess it was just dreary weather and all that. But um, I had to fix a club for one of my friends. I hope they shot a good score. It went on to Pinehurst today, so um, it was a it was a quick surgery overnight. Got everything back to where it needs to be. Its original playing weight, playing length. Got the swing weight right. Hopefully he shot a good score. Now, what has happened is that one of my best putters that I ever had, I messed it up. I was during this quarantine. Of course, everybody, they were watching HGTV, they were watching the Cooking Network, and we blew up Hulu and Netflix, and it was just absolutely nuts. So we had nothing else to do. So me, of course, I like to, just, I'm a techie. Anything that's technical, technology wise, brand new, space age material, doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's technology for cars, sensors, or technology for golf, but everybody knows that I'm just a golfer, and I'm crazy about golf. I'm a range rat, and I love it. So, anyway, I had a quick question about saving grips. Now, yeah, majority of the time people will go to your local Dick's Sporting Goods or your local Golf Galaxy or either your Country Club Pro. But it's easy peasy. The thing is this: you just have to have the right tools to do so. So I know I haven't done a video on saving grips, but I had already just started one here, and I kind of let you do it in the sink. Now, before I show you this, before I pick this up, let me show you exactly what I'm using here, because you know there's a few things that you can use that will not tear up your grip. And when I say tear up your grip, I mean the inside, not just the outside. The outside could be beautiful, but the inside of your grip could be horrible. We've seen those grips where when you get ready to get them changed, you're standing right there, they open them up, and all of a sudden it's just goo all over the place. It looks like white powder. My fact, it looks like cocaine, actually. But what it is soap. Soap, it just dries up because you can't get enough water in there to dissolve that soap. So what the soap does is it starts to eat the rubber from inside out, and it also dries up the tape also. So that's where you get that film, that really sticky film. So then when you go and get your grips changed, we have to usually use the heat gun to try to dry up the sticky solvent, and then we take acetone or either just regular alcohol, pour it on there. We use goo gun also, depends on how bad it is, and then we have to start scraping that stuff off before we put new fresh tape on there. If not, you start to get little bubbles on it, and then you can start to feel those little bubbles. And believe it or not, those bubbles actually can cant that putter or that iron. You start to feel that when it's not tapering off like it's supposed to. What is that bubble there? And then once it's on there long enough, it's really hard to get it taken off without tearing up your grip. So there are two things that I like to use. All right. And I'm gonna get to this right here. I'll make sure I put this there because I don't want to drip anything on the floor, because definitely don't want Mama, the boss lady, getting upset with me. Of course, this is my new spider, brand new one from TaylorMade. Thank you so much. Here it is. This is the one that actually has the what they call the fluted hosel. The fluted hosel is supposed to give you more feel. It's a little. I didn't order it long. I ordered it standard. It's actually 35, and I'm getting ready to cut it down tonight to my specs. So I already know my own specs. So I'm gonna cut it down to my mini spider that TaylorMade sent me. The mini one here. It's beautiful. This is the one that Roy McIlroy is using right now. The mini one. This one right here is the full one. Let me show you real quick. Just a real nice right beside really quickly. You can see the big difference in the faces here. You see how big this one is versus, turn it around this way, and then we'll do it this way. You can see how big this one is. This spider here with the wings on the side, and then the little bitty wings there. So, like I said, TaylorMade's been good to me. They've been sending me all type of new technology. I also brought out my old Scotty Cameron. Then with the pandemic, I was bored. I wanted to paint it all matte black. It actually turned out pretty decent. And yeah, I've been using this. And thanks Curtis, the club guy. I was in his shop and he had one of these and he had saved it and he sold it to me and it was just, matter of fact, he gave it to me. That's my brother. He actually gave it to me, and it turned out beautiful. All black, straight down, bladed. You know, it's awesome. The California edition. So this is with my specs also. Now, one of my favorite putters I did during the pandemic. Yeah, like I said, I was saying everybody's watching HGTV and all this stuff. My wife, HGTV, she loves doing home improvement stuff, and you know, people looking at Pinterest and all that. So I decided that I was going to look at YouTube and figure out how to paint a putter. Well, Jay screwed up his favorite putter. I actually literally destroyed the putter that I shot my lower score with, 68. I destroyed it. Had my wife take it over to Curtis, which is very knowledgeable, 15, 20 years in the business, and basically it was like he destroyed the putter. So it's nothing that I can do. It's basically a paperweight. I was so disappointed. But because my old putter is the same as the new technology that just hit me, the same face and all that, the same actually neck, the same neck and everything. I can cut it down to its same original size. Make sure, hit a couple of putts, make sure we check the loft and lie, make sure everything is the way it needs to be sitting, nice and flat. And go over to the club guy, go over to my buddy Curtis, let him look at it, make sure we try to get the same degree, loft and everything. And I should be back in business. The only thing with this one was the pro. This one didn't have the line, but I did want to experiment with the one with the line in it. So, and it actually has been working very well. I just need to cut it down to my specs. So, once again, we're going to get into what do we use to save the grip without using any type of chemical that's going to start eating through our grip, because these grips are expensive. I mean, I will reach back here, and these are just two of probably, I don't know, 20 or so grips that I have that I do measure. I do have my scale here to see how how heavy they are. These Super Strokes right here, you're looking at $24 to $29 a piece. So you're looking at, these are not cheap. So you want to make sure when you put them on that you're to the point where you actually can still save these things, clean them out, and basically reuse them. Because I can see you right there. So, and the only way that's going to happen is that you use something that's not going to tear up the inside. Okay, so let's get to it. Second, we'll do the second one first. WD-40. The WD-40 fixes everything. My granddad, God rest his soul, love your granddad. My granddad said if it can't be fixed with WD-40 or duct tape, it can't be fixed. Plain and simple. Well, WD-40 is a water distribution agent. So basically, it dries out. So I always tell people if you're golfing and you're playing in the rain and your clubs get wet, as soon as you're done with your round, dry them off, take some WD-40, spray a little bit on the head and all that, and just wipe it off. It gets all the excess water off of it so your clubs don't rust, or water doesn't get down in the inside between the hosel and the ferrule So now when you're putting that pressure, when you're hitting the ground, your shaft will not break because they do rust. So WD-40, what a great tool to use to save a grip. Okay, and also cleaning agent. Shine your clubs up also. Okay. Second one. Well, I'm sorry, that was the second one. First one. Very first, mineral spirits. Plain and simple. Mineral spirits, like I said, it's very, you got two different types now. They make the eco type now that has no scent. This right here really doesn't have a scent. It's not really, I mean, you can smell it, but it's not like really where you had to put on a gas mask or anything like that. But the thing is this, I do like to put on gloves because, it is still a chemical. But the thing with mineral spirits, it will dry your hands out. That is the downside for me. So I kind of like to put on my gloves unless it's a rush job real quick. Then I'm gonna wash my hands and throw a lot of lotion on it. But mineral spirits here. So this right here is a gallon. It's 1 gallon that my wife bought from Ace Hardware. You can get it from Ace Hardware, Lowe's, Home Depot. If you go to your local like Golf Galaxy or Dick's Sporting Goods, they're only going to sell them in the small bottles, along with sometimes pre-cut tape and all that, or the measuring I would call it the measuring flat for the butt of the butt end of for your grip. But you're looking at a small bottle with all that costs you maybe about $8. Maybe $8. I think is what three. Well, it used to be $3.99 just for the mineral spirit and bottle, and it was like that big, maybe the size of this Coke can, like $3.99. But then they have the whole kit that it runs you probably about $8.99 to $10. When you can go to Ace Hardware and get a whole gallon of this for about $10, and this will last you a long time. So. This right here is the number one thing here. They make, like I said, this is the clean strip, odorless, as you can see. Like I said, all of it says odorless, but it does have an odor, but it's nothing where it's gonna be like, oh my God, I'm high. No, nothing like that. So, but like I said, this is pretty safe, and I love to use the mineral spirits. Dries up, will not hurt your grip whatsoever. So, now. We're going to get back over here. I'm going to move you over here. I have a lot of my electronics. Excuse me, I'm moving. A lot of my electronics needs to be there. And excuse the mess. Over here is where I've been trying to wash stuff. Wash the stuff up. So as you can see, this is what they call a T-bob. Okay. That's right here. T-bob. They call it different things. I mean, they call it a grip saver. I call it a T-bob. The reason being is they have different ones. They have ones that are just looks like a. If you ever seen a police officer try to open up a locked car door, and it's just a straight. It's just a straight. Pretty much looks like a butter knife. Really thin, just goes straight down. But I like the T-bob because you can get more torque on it. So if you'll look, I'm going to turn this right here, and I'm going to bring you a little bit closer in here just so you can see. Now, this is how I do it. Now, there's different ways. Some people still use air and blow into it, but I have seen times where sometimes people blow too much air into it, and if it's dried out, it will blow up on you. The grip will actually pop like a balloon, and you can get seriously injured. So this is what I like to do. As you can see, I take my 2 fingers and I just kind of push it away. As you can see, that little gap there. And what I do is I take my mineral spirits and I pour in that little gap there. Okay? You can never use too much. Okay? The way I see it is if you don't use enough, you have a chance of actually destroying your grip. So the more that you can get down in there, work down in there, back and forth, the easier it is. Okay, so I can feel already that I had already been working on this before I start recording. So I'm gonna just now. I'm gonna. Hopefully you can see this. I'm sorry. I am so proud of myself. I installed this thing right here. This is so awesome. This is so cool, right here. Because I'm a techie, and my wife knows that I'm a techie. Check this out right here. I'm just gonna see if I can. Blue. When it turns hot, it's like super red. It is so awesome. And when it's like lukewarm, it's pink. It is so awesome. I installed that. I was so happy she bought that. I'm just a techie. I love technical stuff. Anyway, so anyway, let's get back to this. So now we are back here. So we have actually just broken the seal. So now what I like to do is this. I'm going to bring you right here, and as you can see, I'm just twisting it. This right here is already done bottomed out. It's already down to the end here. All right. So now all I'm doing is I'm just twisting and pushing, twisting and pushing, and I'm pushing the actual head away from the base of the grip while I'm twisting. You should be able to hear it. You should be able to hear it. There you go. Boom. Comes right off. Look how clean that is. Look at that. Hope you can see it. Trying to get there. Look at that. Where's the tape? Where's the gook? There's no gook, no tape, no nothing. Look how clean that is. So I'm going to take a paper towel here, and I'm going to just dry this off. Right here, right in front of you, just so you can see that I'm not doing anything the norm. Try to keep you here. And I'm going to bring you back over here. Back over to the island here. Many apologies. I thought my spider was tightened, but I didn't tighten it up again. Because I did practice a couple of times with my driver, and I didn't get a chance to tighten it up. So sometimes I have to kind of loosen it up if I'm up on the heel. So anyway, here we go. As you can see, that grip came right off. And look how clean that is. Look how clean that is. Look at that. No gook, no nothing. Look at that. Look at that. So going back to saving the grip, that is the most important thing, because you never know that you might need to use this grip again. So, and most of the time we do, because you know why? It's better to save these grips than to have to keep going back to the store paying $30 for these things when you can save them and there's nothing wrong with them. So what I did was, the blue tape here that you see is me and my wife. I already know my specs. I already know my specs of how long my putter needs to be for it to sit flat on the ground. So this is why the blue tape is here. So now I can take the blue tape off because I already have my specs. So I'm just going to pull that off. All right, that's the blue tape there. Going to dry this off a little bit here. And as you can see, boom, brand new steel, original, tailor-made Super Stroke that came with the putter. Look, there's no rips, there's no tears, there's there's nothing hanging off of it. You can see the actual baseline here where they actually put it together. Look how clean that is. Boom. Easy peasy. Look how clean that is on the inside there. If it wasn't, you'd be able to see tape and all stuff in there. Sticking my hand right in there. Look how clean that is. So that's why I'm saying that you need to, it really depends on what type of equipment that you're using and what type of chemicals that you're using. Now, this is the T-bob here. If you see this, you can see the gook from that tape there. And the only reason it's there is because I used the mineral spirits. And then I did use just a tad, just a little bit of WD-40. WD-40 sometimes just gets it started. Because if it sucks, sometimes they do kind of put a little heat to it to try to make it just a little bit tighter. I do that also with some of my grips. I do throw the heat gun on low, just quick passes. Nothing like holding it. You don't want to hold it because you will burn it. But what it does is it shrinks it. It's almost like a shrink. So as you can see, sounds like my wife is pulling back into the house, into the garage. As you can see, the T-bob here, how clean that is. That. Alright, so we get all that out of the way. So the next thing that I like to do, have a seat. That's Mama. Have a seat. Mouse, lay down. Thank you, sir. That's Mama. So the next thing I like to do is get alcohol. So let me grab me some alcohol over here. Now, oh, I got it. Sorry. I got it. I'm recording. Sorry. No, you're good. No, you're good. You're good. So the next thing I like to do is get just a little alcohol. Acetone will work just fine too. But rubbing alcohol also, if you have some of that, just get just a little bit. You don't need a lot. And what you're doing is you're just getting the rest of that residue off of your putter. So when it's time to go ahead and start cutting, it won't slide. And then when you get ready to put the new grip on, it will catch. And you will be good to go. You don't have to start forcing it. That's the worst thing that we can do is try to force a grip on, because the grip on the inside is styrofoam. And if we actually end up cutting that styrofoam, then you start having gaps in it. And then, like I said, that's where when you start cleaning those grips out, that's where that soap starts to sit inside, and then it starts to eat that grip from inside out. Also, the grip that I just took off, you can take a little of the alcohol here, just a little bit, not a lot. Because alcohol will eat through this rubber, but just a little bit. And just put it on it to clean just the rest of the residue off of it. Now, the best thing that I can tell you to do to clean your grips, the best thing that I ever, secret I ever heard of, and I've used it myself, is Windex with ammonia. So, you get Windex with ammonia, and you see the dirt that come off of that. And that's just a little bit. But Windex with ammonia is probably the best ever to use. So, anyway, that ends our segment of how to save a grip. So it's still brand new. Look at that. No tears. No extra tape in there. Brand new. Still TaylorMade logo. Everything is good. So, that ends my segment of how to actually remove properly a grip without tearing it up, and also how to make sure that you get everything off of the shaft before you measure and you cut. Okay? Because it's better to measure twice, and cut one time than to cut twice and measure one time. So, especially when you're dealing with this type of stuff right here, this is technology. A half an inch off will throw your whole ball flight or your ball pattern, into a different direction, and we don't want to do that. We want to be as precise as possible. So thanks for tuning in to another edition of Davis Dynamics. What I will do is I'm going to continue to work on this tonight. It's not going to take long, but I will make sure I take a picture of the final result and see how you like it. If you have any questions, comments, you can post them down below. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and have a good night.